Are live. I'm not your lawyer, your banker, or your mother. Do your own research and make your own damn decisions. Welcome to the Clue Crew, where each week, or actually every other week, I've got to change that. We discuss the various news, facts, and rumors. We are putting our heads together to solve the mystery that is Upland. I'm Scooby. With me is Cernus. How are you this
Great.
evening? Hello.
I'm doing quite fabulous. Can you hear me? Are we
Yes.
alive?
Yes, we are
We're good.
live, and I can hear you. I'm seeing green bars. They're going up, they're going down. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. We're all very happy about that. Um,
Cool,
and
cool.
I got a video game working that I've been trying to for some weeks for the prizes. Mutant Football League. So that'll be a fun thing to watch. Or not really watch, but bid on. I'm going to be giving away 1,000 Sparklet. So pick a team. We have the Tokyo Terminators and the hold on, let me bring up the actual window. The Scarolina Panthers, like Carolina. It's Scarolina. All right,
Ah,
clever. Oh, I tell ya. Anyway, they're pretty much equally ranked. So, yeah. Gonna give it a couple of minutes, so for people to drift in and out, whatnot. But that's what we're gonna be doing. Um, Upland. Let's talk about the big thing. We just got it. Plants. Now, you and I were talking a little bit before we started the broadcast, and you said you're mostly planting for other people. Is that right?
uh-huh.
What do you
Feeding
mean
for
by that?
others and soon going to be petting for others. I'm making a business.
But go on. I mean, I really. What is your
Yeah.
process? What do you mean by that?
Well, I think if I'm not mistaken, there's a tagline somewhere on this with like the normal Discord. I don't know if it shows on the YouTube broadcast, but yeah. I'm feeding other players when their health goes less than 100, and
Okay.
so I just basically check once a day,
Uh huh.
keep it nice and simple, and if it's lower than 100, then I feed. And
Okay.
just click a bunch of buttons, but then they don't have to deal with that. You
Sure.
know, some people want to be totally totem retired. No more of
Right.
the scheduling, feeding. So I do some of that, and then I'll be adding some petting into my repertoire. But petting will just be, um, you know, regional.
Okay.
So it's got to be it's
Okay.
got to be within, like, okay, I'm willing to go outside the city I'm in,
Mhm.
but it's got to be like 100 epics or 200 epics or less to be traveling, not
Mhm.
going sorry to Hong Kong,
Right. A
or
short hop and
sorry
a
to
skip.
Sydney. That's gonna have to be, you're gonna have to have your own base, and then I'm gonna have I'm in DC, so I'm gonna have to kind of plan around that side of things for
Mhm.
now. But yeah, petting petting seems more economical if it's more regionally driven. I think if there's more of a collaborative effort. Uh, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how things evolve. Then the irony, though, as we were discussing, is I still haven't figured out how to plant my own plant. I can plant everybody else's plant, but I can't.
Mhm.
I'm still working on the bugs of personal plant.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. You had mentioned that you were having some trouble with it on mobile. But before that, I want to say that yeah, when you mentioned that you had like we're gonna petting, I was like, well, hold on, how far are you willing to travel for that? Because yeah, those expenses could add
Yeah,
up real quick. Unless of course, I mean, if they were paying enough of a premium. If somebody's willing to pay enough for it, I guess I could see that. But yeah, that'd be a lot of travel. The petting
right.
is ugh, ugh
But you only have to do that once a day or so, right?
I don't know. Okay, so
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, we're still figuring out the data points, but let's say it's just once a day, right?
mhm,
Then what I do is I build a clientele of uplanders, and then if I know I have eight, if it's not like totems where you have to be 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock. If I can just do it once a day,
Mm-hmm.
I just go, okay. Right now I go to Manhattan. I'll swing by 25 addresses for 5 players. You see what I'm saying?
I do. I do.
And then I sweep through all the petting all at once.
Yeah. No.
And then I go over to Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my thought. But,
That makes sense. I was
mm-hmm,
actually I was you asked about like how often do you have to do it once a day? You know, what is it about that? I was
mm-hmm.
looking through. I believe this is the article, the one that said "Life's arriving next week. Here's how everything's gonna work." And it mentions the health and the well-being. Now the petting directly goes into the well-being, and then the well-being and the health play off each other. That's all. The point I'm making is that oh, I might be being too loud. Gotta watch that. Gotta watch that. The point I'm making is that the frequency with which one needs to pet their plants is not in any way mentioned that I can see. All that says is that if both systems are neglected for too long, the plant will wither permanently and die, which obviously is what you're trying to avoid. What I can't gather yet
Mm-hmm.
is how binary this is or how gradient it is. For instance, with the totems, as you are well aware, the cause and effect, the consequence system is it's dynamic. You miss X and then Y happens. You miss Z and then you get what I'm saying because
Right.
less
Yeah.
so to that end, is a similar thing going to play out here, where if you go too long without feeding, or I mean without petting, the next time you pet, it won't quite go up to 100. It'll only ever go up to
Right.
80, or
Sure.
is every pet 40, and we just haven't seen that effect happen because it's only been here in effect for like a day or two.
Right. We don't have enough data points. However, every feeding that I've seen so far has brought all the plants I've seen back to 100. So I'm just thinking it must be like a certain time interval that it goes non 100, and then you feed and you're back to 100. But we don't know how the next data points will be. But yeah, I do know there was an uplander who asked Walmuza in the Upland Discord this week. Like how often do we need to feed our plants, or is there like a penalty or anything like that? And his answer was dot 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 drum
Mhm.
roll. It was that's for you all to figure
Mhm.
out.
Mhm.
So it's Totems 2.0, and we will be having a season in Upland, as we know, is 4 cycles. I gather 4 cycles. So you have a full
Wait. What do you?
year season.
Hold on. No.
Okay,
Wait. You mean seasons like blossom and harvest? Are you talking about those seasons? There's six.
like a bloom cycle.
Oh, I was like we've got we have four like so you mean like season like autumn fall autumn fall same fucking thing. Uh,
Basically, the whole weather season,
gotcha.
like
Okay.
you
Okay.
got it's still a whole year wrapped into a season of Upland, because every season is apparently identical. So what I mean by that is we're currently in blossom season, right? When we get to Genesis season in Upland, we're going to go through the same cycles. It's identical. The whole year is wrapped in really a 2 month period. Is the way I'm viewing it. So give us 2 months or 8 weeks essentially, and well, we should have all the data points that we need on feed intervals,
Mhm.
penalties, growth cycles. Just about everything will be known within 8 weeks, I think.
Well, I think you're right. In terms of like us having the data within 8 weeks, but I don't know how much I think it's going to be because of of them being in and out of season or it being like going through the cycle
Okay.
so much. So I'm going down that article, and I do see now where it says autumn, winter, spring, summer. So they do acknowledge that. The problem is Upland plays so much with definitions of words that you say season, and I think season, but no, it's the other season.
Right.
But in that we have in bloom and out of bloom, and then for the pictures, but then right below that it points out that just like in the real world, some plants thrive in specific seasons while others remain consistent year round. So I wonder how much of it is going to be like um irrespective of what season we're in, it's still going to be to keep it healthy and whatnot. You gotta pet it, you gotta feed it.
So I asked actually X1 about that, also on Discord, and at least the impression I got when there's the wording about, I asked that specific sentence. So the wording year round, we need to think of that as the whole autumn, winter, fall, spring wrap still in an upland season. So year round really just means 8 weeks.
Maybe you're
So
right.
what that means is that some plants and some trees and some flowers may stay consistent the whole upland season for all the cycles within the 8 week period. That's what year round would equate to. That's my understanding. There's there's no plant, tree, or flower that I
Oh,
know of
no,
that
you're
will
right.
actually be
Shit,
year
I'm an idiot.
round
I'm an
consistent
idiot. You're
throughout
right.
the whole yeah. There's none that's year round consistent throughout all the upland seasons, at least as I gather.
You're
So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. But 8 weeks, we should have our data point.
you're right. I'm an idiot. I found it. You're right.
So it's all good.
Yeah, no. I had been so interested earlier on I was laser focused on the well-being aspect of it. I completely skipped this paragraph. Yeah, it's exactly what you're saying. Within each upland season, blossom, genesis, sizzle, we'll have four distinct stages: autumn, winter, spring, summer. I'm just now learning about this in real time. I hate this.
It's
I
like mini seasons,
I fucking hate
4 mini
this.
seasons within the seasons that we already have.
Why
But yeah,
why would you do that? We
sub seasons.
we live in real time. I mean, I what the fuck? What?
It's kind of like Upland Kingdoms in a way. If you remember Upland Kingdoms, where you have like every day was what stretched out or shortened. If that
Mhm.
makes sense, and you were in the seasons for like a shorter period. Um,
No, right. I get that. Okay. I understand it from a mechanic perspective. I fucking hate it from a narrative perspective. You've already thematically like annotated the seasons themselves from fucking Winter Wonderland with and then you got Blossom with the idea of spring, Sizzle being very clearly hot summer, and now you're gonna fucking roll in and being like, well, in the middle of our summer season we have winter. Get the fuck out of here.
right.
What?
Metaverse Millen is saying we have 24 plant seasons in a real year of seasons. That's basically my understanding. Correct.
Six times
Mhm.
4, 20. Yeah, no, six, because, yeah, oh, I hate this.
But
Oh, I hate
I should
this.
clarify what Metaverse Millen. There's one aspect to this. Every eight
Yes, Marley,
week
actually, yes,
period is supposed to be identical. So
basically.
you really don't have 24 seasons. You really just have 8 seasons that repeat,
I,
unless Upland changes things. But it's
look,
more like you would think it's the same spinning cycle of
I
seasons.
have, I haven't heard an uproar about it, so obviously everyone else is fine. I guess, or everyone else also just skipped that paragraph. But like Swarley is saying, why do you hate it? Would you rather actually waiting a whole year in real life for your digital plant to grow? And the answer is yes. For me, yes. But it's in the same way that I also want like there to be a chance of natural disasters taking out your house and you have to rebuild from scratch in Upland. I like the real stakes of that. I'm like alone in that. I get that. If that's what this is, fine, fine, fine.
Yeah.
Um, the only point I would stick to is the idea of any sort of winter season in the middle of sizzle season is kind of weird, but that's it. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. I like plants. I'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's not
I
like
will say you mentioned as far as uproars and such. The main uproar I've heard is more general, and that is in addition to the whole blossom season cycles within the seasons, and you also have the feedings. You have so many different plant varieties. You have miracle grows. You have um, just so many different, and some things you can do autopilot. Some you have to ghost travel. It's just a lot of mechanics and a lot of thinking, and the mismatches whether players love plants enough, and
mm-hmm.
they're really horticulturally passionate to um, get really into all the chess of it. That's what been most of the uproar is. It seems like some players think it's too complex
Yeah, yeah. Well,
or
there,
complex.
yeah, there are definitely parts of it that are tedious. I mean, yeah,
Hmm.
there's definitely parts that are complex, and like you had pointed it out, we're gonna get. I view that as like with a lot of the other things, we're gonna get a lot of data points over the next 8 weeks. There's gonna be a lot of number people that are the backbones of us vibe people that just enjoy playing, and I look forward to their reports. But the tedious part, we can I think all agree on. One of which is you had mentioned earlier, you have a little trouble with getting it to work just right on mobile. Um, I don't know how much of that. Not, so like, is what issues are you having? I told you my issue was slightly in terms of I can get it to snap, but sometimes getting the corners to snap so that one doesn't move too far up or down is a problem. Has that been your problem?
Um, well, so I haven't set up a plant other than when I tried on my mobile phone, I couldn't even get zoomed in. I don't know if I'm having a bug, but like it's taking me like even outside the property line. Like I was getting a totally. I think there's something wrong with my phone actually, or an app. So
Hmm.
I'm an outlier right now. But what I do think is probably the most critical issue is going to be petting, because I mean, how many players are going to want to, so many people have accumulated even thousands of plants,
Mm-hmm.
but how many people want to pet 1,000 plants a day? That's the issue. We're going to reach, there's a critical mass of how many plants people are going to want to have
Mm-hmm.
unless they're delegating a bunch of petting all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now this
I
is
don't know. That's going to be interesting.
This is an area where I actually think Upland was somewhat smart by they went ahead and they threw in a kill switch. If you are inactive with your plants long enough, they will just die. Um, so I think we're gonna see a culling. We're gonna see a lot of dead plants here in a little while, and I'm curious to see what happens with that. I'm cool with it.
I made the suggestion in Discord to X1. I said that I think there should be a setting on your plants. Like you get a one, like maybe one or two vacation mode periods you're allowed to pick for like maybe X number of days where you don't have to deal with petting, you don't have to delegate or do anything. You can just go on vacation mode and
Mm-hmm.
they get taken care of minimally or whatever.
Mm,
I think there should be something like that because as long as Upland treats Upland as a game, which Upland does seem like they're going more toward game than trying to be intentionally as realistic as possible, then
Hmm.
give us a vacation mode.
Yeah, they have
That's the way I
definitely
think it's more realistic.
pivoted from the we're being like another version of the real world. They were a lot more like that in the old days. They've definitely pivoted away from that for better or worse. Um, I think what you're talking about there, a vacation mode, I think that's a prime benefit that could be offered for a season pass. 100%.
Right.
I mean, why not? Um, uh, I agree with Pigeon here completely. A pet all on property option. Like I understand having to go to every property that you have plants on, but if you're petting the plants on a property, I before this started, I pet all the 119 plants I have on mine, which don't get me wrong, it was kind of fun for a minute.
The tricky part then, if we had pet all, is so I guess what City Pigeon is suggesting then is we pet all, and then all the troves just unleash on all the properties, but that means whoever's there is going to get the
Well,
troves,
well, no,
not City Pigeon.
not quite. Not all the properties. This would be a property by property. It would be a property button. So you'd still send to this one property, and it would just be all the plants on that property. That said, yeah,
Oh, okay.
you're not wrong though. If
What about a
somebody,
pet all, like a all property option?
I see, I don't want, and that's where I don't want that. Now that said, if they put that in, you're right. You may just be absolutely opening yourself up to be sniped. But I don't want an all properties option. I think a property by property is the right middle ground. Um, that said, though, seriously, if you have enough plants on a property and there is somebody around, that you absolutely could be opening yourself up for that. That's an interesting mechanic I look forward to. I hope that happens.
Well, it's coming along. Kudos to Upland. This is pretty cool in some ways.
Mm,
So I'll give them that. There's things to work out, but it's cool.
yeah, and there
I'm ready to see more.
I will say there are definitely some bugs though. There was more than once while I was petting. I would let me bring up the browser.
Did you have any bugs that ate your plant?
Not yet, though it is blossom season.
Insecticide.
No, no, all natural. We don't do insecticides. Come on, keep that poison away from my healthy, beautiful plants. Anyway, um, I would notice that I would be trying. Let's say I'd be trying to pet this tulip here, and well, of course I'm out of range. Anyway, and I would go to pet it, but instead this this one up here is the one that would get pet. Like 15 plants away, nowhere near what I'm clicking. And of the 119 plants that I petted, whatever. Um, I don't know. You tell me. But of them, this happened, I'd say 5 or 6 times. Like enough times that I was like, okay, so this is a bug. So if that happens to you, you're not having a stroke. Um, it's a thing. But that's one reason why I say that what you're experiencing could be your phone, or it could be just a bug. Um, Swarley's asking, what happens to your plant if well-being drops to 0? Is it dead? Um, I actually, that was part of the, hold on, I saw that. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Because it has to do with how you have your well-being affects your health in that the more you keep your plant happy by petting it, the slower its health decays due to lack of feeding, if I understand correctly.
I can't imagine realistically that if a plant has no well-being at all, that it's going to be alive. But the
Well,
other thing, Swarley, I would say that's exactly what I'm basically talking about. Is um, I'm probably not going to be the right person for you on this one, but you'll probably want to have players around Miami who want to pet, and you kind of like the construction hub, you delegate somebody to be your pet sitter, so to speak.
Yeah, no, I gotta disagree with you there, Cernus. It just
Okay.
going by just about the measure of death coming from a lack of well-being as a potential. It doesn't look like it going by their wording, because they do explicitly state that if health drops too low, the plant will die. But then down here, they point out how important it is to keep your well-being because of how it slows the health decay. Um, so it looks like theoretically you could totally neglect your plant, call it a piece of shit, do everything but pet it as long as you feed it, and like
Accelerate death.
y-
It
as
won't be dead necessarily.
you. I guess you would just have to really micromanage and make sure you feed it every single time that you need to. That said, one thing it would definitely affect, though, is the type of trove. Um, because this is here, if both systems are neglected for too long, not either. If both are neglected for too long. So,
So if you have a zero well-being plant, you'll be pumping out a lot of non-well-being tropes.
that is how I take that. Hold on, let me find, here we go. Health and well-being also influence the rewards that your plants can generate, including their roles in troves. So, a depressed but well-fed plant, theoretically would stay alive, but could adversely affect the score and would give you shitty troves. That's how I'm reading it.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, when I was a small child, I grew a pumpkin patch, and I used to sing to those motherfuckers. So look, I'm all about petting the plants. Hey, and for
Mhm.
the record, they grew pretty gosh darn big. So, point of pride in
What's
my.
kind of cool too is the visual framing of the well-being and the health.
Mhm.
Um, is I don't have to go into every uplander's account to see what their well-being and health score is. I can, let's say I'm hunting for troves eventually. I
Mhm.
should be able to just look at the plant and see visually, oh, this plant probably pretty healthy, probably decent rewards.
Mhm.
So that's the nice thing. Like I'm looking at your plants right now, beautiful. This is
Well,
like
thank you.
garden cover magazine style quality. So yeah, I'd think, okay, yep, this is where you get the rare treasure chest, so to speak,
Mhm. Mhm.
of of troves. So um, you'll probably get more sand fees or
Mhm.
visit fees. Kind of my thought process.
I mean, I certainly hope so. And anybody that knows me, knows that I like to go with themes, I like to go with fun. I like to, I start with one thing for a property, and then I build off of that for, I think, okay, so what goes with that? So like for this one, you've got the plants as you see, and I'm building the camp world. And my idea is that I'm building a forest around Camp World so that you can try out your
Skills.
gear,
Yeah.
while you're
Mm-hmm.
there. You try out the gear and the surrounding foliage, to make sure your tent works just right, your walking sticks and whatnot, and then, you make your purchase and you leave.
I like I like the fact that you also made a space between your camp, your tent,
Mhm.
or whatever, and then you have your palm trees and all the plants. So in between, you could put eventually when we get
Mhm.
animals,
Mhm.
you have room for animals to roam around too.
Or whatever. Yeah, exactly. What but yeah, that was the idea. Was I wanted
Uh-huh.
to. So I had a couple. This is a couple of experiments all rolled into one. One of which is the snapping feature, and how that would work into with unit size. So okay, I'm just gonna show what I mean.
Yeah, the whole service units and all that.
No, no, actually,
Yeah.
I mean spatial units. Okay, so what you have
Oh,
here.
okay. Yeah, up squared, up squared. Hmm.
Mhm. I guess they are just up squares. I hadn't thought about that, but I guess these are maybe the individual up squares themselves. In which case, maybe the flowers are 1 up square and the palm tree is 4 up square. You know what? Prove me wrong. I'm gonna say that's exactly what it is. Yeah. So, what we have here is I wanted to see if it did snap together in that way so that I could do a proper perimeter snapping together all the way around, no
Right.
gaps,
Mm-hmm.
a true rectangle, and it did. I'm happy to say,
Very nice.
like it's I mean, because of several upgraded palm trees, you can't see exactly, but take my fucking word for it because it took some work. They are all snapped to, and it forms perfect 90-degree angles and whatnot. It's all the way around. And
How much time did that take you?
it took a few minutes. It took some time. Um,
Okay.
more than it
I'll take
should.
your word for it. Just a few minutes.
Yeah.
I'm
Uh,
holding you to that.
it was a bunch of few minutes spread across a couple days. Um,
I
I
think I have a clue.
yeah. All told, I would say it probably took a couple hours. Of everything together.
Very nice.
But but yeah, but first I had to figure out the correct spacing for the trees themselves. Um, because when I put them right next to each other and fully upgraded them, they looked really weird. Because I mean, well, you can imagine, and it just when the leaves went together, and I put in some maple trees, and it had the branches like going through the palm trunk. Yeah, it was
Hmm.
weird. And so I said, all right, okay, so how does it look with 2 flowers in between? Okay, what about 3? What about 4? And I ended up settling on 5. 5 was the size that I thought looked the best in between palm trees. And so I settled
Okay,
on
I see.
on
Hmm.
a pattern of
Hmm.
orange dandelion, yellow rose, pink rose, red rose, orange dandelion. And so it is that the entire way around.
Very nice.
And again, this is partly so that I can also see how all of these different things work. Because also they only allowed so many different types of ones to be planted. Um, which
Hmm.
I was kind of upset that sunflowers weren't in the first round. The fuck's up? Yeah, yeah. The fuck's up with that? Um, cause
Well, and
like,
I also think that sunflowers, the owner of the nursery is very limiting on how many you can produce, or something along those lines for seeds.
well, that was I know that the proprietor very smartly
Mhm.
decided to randomly decide like just like when to produce and when not to, so that it didn't allow it to just be completely overrunning the market. But
Mhm.
I before that happened, I'd already grabbed 2, and so I've got a couple just because fun. And that was
Yeah.
the first thing I tried to plant, and it seemed like given to me. It was the first nursery, so it just seemed to given to me that it would be one of the first seeds you could actually plant, and I'm a little
Mhm.
disappointed that it's not. Not it is what it is, but that's a hmm.
What happens if that player who has the sunflower nursery stops playing completely? Then those are all the sunflowers we'll ever have, and then eventually they die and sunflowers go extinct. Is that the the plant model for sunflowers?
Theoretically, yeah. Yeah, that is, I mean, unless there is a method for seed production as a yield of like successfully, like I could see a mechanic where if you successfully yield
Plant.
it go through
You
'cause
keep the seeds from those. Yeah.
since
Hmm.
apparently we're doing 4 seasons a season. Let's say
Yeah.
therefore though, let's say that you successfully complete all 24 mini seasons for a year,
Mhm.
and then as a result you produce seeds from any plant that you successfully did the thing all year round. I could see a mechanic like that being introduced. And if it was,
Yeah.
then that could be a method of production for sunflowers. But even so, yeah, these are edge cases. Um, but yeah, so if that's the case, then does that mean that I like are my no, yeah. Okay, are my palm trees here, are they gonna start back over next season? Like from being little, or do they stay grown? See, this is where I was already confused, and now finding out they're mini seasons, I'm even more confused. I don't know. Whatever. All right,
I think what happens is they bloomed fully once they're fully bloomed.
maybe.
You can't scale back blossomation.
I mean I wouldn't think so, because that's one reason
Yeah,
that's one reason that I've been paying for Miracle Grow. Is so that because like
yeah,
I want an already completely fully grown property. If there's a chance of a
yeah.
reset, then this is all for nothing. I'm wasting Upix right now. I'm
Right.
wasting it
If
right
it's a
now.
reset, that's a miracle in itself because plants don't shrink. Well, they shrivel, but they don't shrink.
But this is Upland, and Upland can do whatever the hell they want, as we know. But even so, I've wasted more on this show. I'm gonna keep upgrading some stuff. Let's upgrade some flowers. Upgrade this red rose.
Actually, I should say, so flowers and plants shrivel, but trees never really shrivel.
Yeah, they do. Well, they wither. Or do you mean in real life, or are you talking about in Upland?
Yeah,
Oh, in real
like
life.
you
Oh,
don't see like a whole cylinder, just
right.
pancakes.
No, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That you meant in Upland. I was like, no. We have pictures. It's they're gonna wither and die. Apparently, yeah. Oh man, but yeah.
Oh, boy.
So that's the mechanic that we've got in terms of plants. That's obviously what everyone is doing right now. It's the new hip thing. Um, I think that we pretty much touched on most of it that we have. Um,
Yeah. Mhm.
that we know about anyway. The only I will say they pointed out, hold on, there was something here about lawn grass. Where was that? Oh,
I think they mentioned grass was kind of a mystery, or there's more mechanics to come, or something along
it's
those
that.
lines.
Yeah,
Or
yeah. They had
try it as you may for
right.
grass.
Right. So they have a specific note about grass, and they're using the phrase "stay off my lawn," which okay, fine, cute. But what they're saying is that as of right now, the grass acts as a map asset in terms of you can't overlay, you can't put anything on top of the grass. But I'm taking this as that's for now. Obviously, eventually that's gonna change. But for now, that's the way it is. Um, because I mean,
Because of that, I don't think there's any reason to create a full turf of grass. I'll say that. That's my uh, conclusion to that.
not beyond if that is your desire. If your desire is an entire property that is nothing but a single thing of grass, then you
Can
would
you
have.
imagine how much cutting is involved in that?
Oh sure, I mean yeah, no, but that's my point of like in terms of like informed decision. If that's your goal, then you have at it. But yeah, if your idea is that you'll be able to put anything on top of the grass, not yet. I still think
Well,
there.
now that I think about it, imagine somebody taking a 4,000 up squared property, right? And every little single stinking, plot of grass, they do the whole thing, they pet it all the time. Imagine how many troves they can get out of that. I hope they're at least half decent. If they are, they could be farming out their single property all day long
Hmm.
with troves.
Hmm.
Just all day. Boom, 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 in theory.
The whole trove economy I mean we still don't even know. We'll get there. We'll get there. But I can still think of plenty of use case scenarios, even though you can't put anything on the grass for now. if you wanted to, in the same way that people have already done a lot of stuff with certain map assets like fences and whatnot, if you wanted to make like a soccer field, well, you now have the grass to do that. If you also had, I guess, white tiles to use for the lines, you get what I'm saying there. So but Pigeon points out here, if grass is a high trove plant. That's also where I think of, just like it said earlier, that if you fuck up your well-being, it's going to give you shitty troves. Common grass, common troves. That's what I would see for that.
I think also, as far as the whole turf concept, little parcels of grass are going to be difficult. They're going to need to come up with more of a sodding system, I
Mm-hmm.
think, where you can get bigger parcels of grass to make this turf. If you're going to, can't just be like, one up squared
Hmm.
pieces of turf that you put all over the property. You're going to need to get like these 50 up squared turf sod pieces at once. So then you can start laying it out in a way that's more, you know, manageable than, 5 million of these things all over all your up squared.
No, I got you. I'm thinking to myself actually. Hold on. Where was it? Let me find some grass. Let me hear some grass here. Um, some lawn grass. Okay. So what we yeah, exactly. Lawn grass seeds, 1 unit. Um, so mm, they could very easily put out one that is 10 units. Bingo. Problem solved. Or not solved, but what you're suggesting would be would be that. They
Right.
just they just need to make it to
Yeah,
where that one is 10 units instead
exactly.
of 1 unit. There you go. Yep.
hmm
Completely agree. Now, regarding grass specifically, I got into a
But it
conversation.
doesn't even need to, what I'm saying, I want to clarify, it doesn't need to be a seed. There's two ways you can grow grass. You can grow grass by seed in real life, or you can grow grass by sodding. You,
Oh,
you take the sod of grass and you just put it on your property
what?
and you
Okay. Yeah.
bunch them in and water them,
Right.
So it could just be a sod situation rather than a seed situation.
That's interesting. What if they actually put in a mechanic for people to plant the grass with the seeds and then turn that into the sod
Mhm.
to give up to sell to other players?
Yeah, like an upgrade.
Yeah. Produce a
Bingo. I love
secondary
it.
economy of that. There you go.
Yeah.
I actually, but to that end, I got into a conversation with someone today about grass and how all we have now is literally labeled lawn grass. And I wonder, is that even going to be, like, we talk about grass being what they're going to use to, like, feed the cows and whatnot when we finally get the farming, but is that the kind of grass that the cows are going to eat? Or is there going to be a new kind of grass offered? I
Right,
can
right.
there's an and I think there's a need for specific grasses, like I told them, where for instance, like golf is a good example. There
Mhm.
like or rather the grass on the green is different from the grass in the fairway, is sometimes different
Right,
from the grass in the rough.
right.
These
hmm
are this is all in one location.
For
So
sure.
I think a variation on just grass as a whole is going to be coming at some point in the future.
Yep. I agree. It should. If we're having, more
Well,
realism, for sure.
okay, and Pigeon points out correctly, yes, fine. We do have a soccer service structure. So, and we also have a mini golf service structure. I'm sure there's some a lacrosse field. Ha! Ha, we don't have one of those yet, do we? Gotta wait till next Wednesday.
Football field coming too.
I think we have a football. I think we have a version of football, at least in terms of
Oh yeah.
school.
hmm True, true.
Um, Cricket. There you go. That's a sport. I don't know how it works, but it's a sport. My knowledge of cricket comes from a single episode of Doctor Who, and it did not make sense. The sport, the episode was great. I, you know, all right. But yeah, so that's about all I got in terms of grasses. Pretty much all we got got in terms of plants, I think. Um, I mean, what else is even going on? Oh, they have them new terraformers. That's it. Was
Mhm.
that an article where we learned about block explorers? Yep, yep. Here we go. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about it. What do you think about this here block explorer utility that's upcoming?
I think it's great. Any improvement to block explorers makes block explorers more exciting and enticing. I don't know if we have full clarity what all the details of stamina are going to be, what it necessarily does entirely, but it gives you a clue. So we do have a clue.
We have
Um,
right.
we,
We have
uh,
just that.
so, but yeah, as far there was a conversation in Discord though, and City Pigeon was on it. I was on it a bit. There's a few other players on it, but it was in regard to there's some there. X1 was asking, why there seems to be a theme about players snickering about the prices for the Terraformer BEs that they have on sale, where it's the $999
Mm-hmm.
price. And my comment on that is, yes, we're having utility, which is great, but we're still, depend. The nice thing, I'll say this, I'm trying to keep this politically correct in some ways. Block explorers are art. So price can be whatever you want them to be, but at the same time, there is a comedy, and I can't just sell a spirit legit for
Mm-hmm.
$5,000 today if I wanted to. I could try. It's not going to happen. I could try to sell some common BE or even a rare BE for $1,000. Probably not going to happen. But
No, not most of them. No.
if a terraformer sells for $1,000, or if Upix is worth, a million Upix, is normally worth on the secondary a whole lot more than, the $999 price, you know. So, but there is a little bit of a comedy
Mm.
in all those different ways of looking at a mockingbird, so to speak, when it comes to or a blackbird. I think it's how the poem goes. It's a little bit of a comedy because you don't normally think of a block explorer in general as $999. You don't normally think of Upix. 1 million Upix is $999.
Not anymore. Not for a
Uh,
long time. No, no, no. And
so terraformers are interesting, but all in all, the block explorer announcement is great. It revives um, what has been sort of a dying asset
mm,
in
mm.
people's wallets to actually do something for once. So I applaud Upland. It's so much momentum and new utility coming. I can't wait for map access to be next.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I hadn't thought about what they could do with those. I'm sure there's gonna be something. But yeah, I agree with you just in general that I'm looking forward to them being able, just literally having anything. I really thought that it was gonna be racing first. I really thought the first utility we were gonna see with them was the racing stats and skills.
Actually, yeah.
But that kind of has been backburnered in favor of racing focusing on just the car mechanics, I guess. Like the cars being the thing that are, whatever. But this is still going to be cool. Now the terraformer, you talk about $1,000 block explorer, and the only one that comes to mind with that is the terraformer. And I think maybe the Genesis rings might have also been about that much. Um, but that's about it. Now I guess they're gonna be. Go ahead.
I got a really cool idea for the terraformers and the Genesis rings and such to really make those have high utility
Mm-hmm.
where the value makes sense. Let them be the only BEs in Upland that allow you to manage two BEs at the same time. Meaning you could be in both Miami and Hong Kong at the same time petting. Now, now that would make it definitely worth $1,000. I would
Well,
pay in a heartbeat if I
what
could
about five?
double.
What about $5,000? Pigeon says that one of those Genesis rings was five
But
thousand dollars.
maybe other people.
Hmm.
But I'm just saying now that could be a way to really make the utility really at home as far as bees. I'm surprised Upland doesn't have a way to multi-view with BEs. You know, that would be really cool. Rather than okay, yeah, a little bit of stamina, a little bit of you know, a little extra trove boost or whatever with bees. Give us a multi-view, multi-way of playing. I think that would be fantastic. That opens up the door then where you could now have multiplayer playing too. You could have teams playing in multiple markets or something. I'm looking forward to that day.
Oh man, that would be very interesting. And I think that any mechanic like that you introduce has got to be kept to very, very low level. You can't allow something like that to scale. So making sure that it only
Mm-hmm.
applied to something like the Genesis rings, I think that would be the smart way to do it if it was going to be done. Um, the one thing I had always thought was going to happen, I think a lot of other people did too. I thought that the terraformers that had the head and body sets, I always thought that there was going to be something along the way that if you had both of them, you'd be able to do something like combine them into like the Super Transformer
Okay,
Terraformer.
makes sense. Yeah.
Um, if so, like if I will say that this stamina could be a way to do that. If you had both of those and it gave you double stamina just by equipping one of them because you have both of them for the set and it's, a
For sure.
robot put together, I could
The
see that.
synergy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what we do know,
Very cool.
what do we know? What do we know? We know that there's going to be stamina, and that stamina is going to have to do with how much of your how many troves that you can gather with your block explorer. And I guess apparently, uh, hold on. Yeah, even the recipes that you unlock are going to be influenced by which block explorer that you're using, and the block explorers themselves. So wait, what is the stamina? How many troves an explorer can gather before needing to cool down? Yeah, okay, okay. Interesting. So even though one block explorer collecting trove would be able to collect troves longer, theoretically, it sounds like that block explorer, for as many troves as it could unlock, it still wouldn't be able to it it the type of trove that it is more likely to encounter and therefore recipe to unlock based on it is not good. That's not going to matter. Even though it can get more troves, it's not going to be able to get the different troves. It's like playing fucking Pokemon back in the day. You can play Pokemon Red, you can play Pokemon Blue, but like if you want to get all of the Pokemon, you gotta get both and get them to play together. But I have to assume these terraformers are gonna have like 1,000 stamina, or however it's measured. What do you think of them, just like out the gate saying that director block explorers are going to be part of a broader collection?
That's going to be interesting to map when some director block explorers are in the hands of other players now because they've been
Hmm.
sold on the open economy.
Hmm.
And then the second piece is more of a to me a okay, so it's a collection, but new directors can't get director BEs anymore,
Correct.
right? So yeah, so is that going to if we're now poking the bear on the issue of you can't get a director BE anymore, is that going to open up some fresh wounds? That would be a question I have with that.
Maybe,
Um,
maybe it will. I
yeah.
don't know. I guess we'll have to see about that. Overall, I think that it's the best compromise that they could reasonably do for a couple of reasons. I think that giving that treating them like the actual rarity they are, or throwing them out, are both off the table because they're special. But especially since it's not a dynamic collection, it can no longer be added to. It's static. I think that that makes it a lot easier to swallow the idea of, well, it's one of however many we ever got, 1,500, 2,000, whatever it was. Um, I I personally, whatever that number is, I would like to see their their a director's value weighted a little bit more to be like a quarter of that number, because I think the directors are still supposed to be special. Those block explorers, especially now since they can't be gotten anymore. So if all told there's 2,000, it's a collection of 2,000, let's say, then I think it should have the weight of a 500 collection. That's my
Do you
personal
think
opinion.
that the most celebrity-like players should have their block explorer be in a higher collection? Like, if you got Abdullah's
No,
block explorer,
no. I would say firm one person, one player, one director, one block explorer, equal weighted.
yeah, even one in jail, a player who's in jail but their block explorers.
Well, see, so that is an area where absolutely I think that the block explorer should have equal weighting of value for what it's being applied to. Now, I could totally see the value that it goes for in the secondary market for purchase fluctuating based on who it's associated with, but mechanically, no, no. I think it should be
Sure, sure.
evenly distributed.
Okay, fair enough.
And they're exploring other modifiers too. So, because like we got stamina, and that's pretty standard. You know, the idea of how fast you can run, how far you can go, how much you can carry. Okay, fine. But they're exploring other modifiers, and I don't know really what other, like. Do we have any details? Um, For example, we have for examples, no commitments. Some explorers may perform better when collecting certain types of troves, while others may improve the likelihood of higher quality rewards or interact more effectively with specific service structures. So that's an interesting idea. Okay, all right. Here's an idea. You've got the Jason mask. At least I do. I've got the bloody Jason mask block explorer. All right.
And you go to the Halloween service structure or
No,
whatever. The
no,
Halloween.
no, 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 no. You go to the sport. You go to the sports store. I'm going to the hockey store. Going to the hockey store. He's got the hockey mask. He's going to the hockey store. No, you get it exactly, exactly, exactly. You take that one to either the hockey store or the Halloween store, and that block explorer being more likely to get a really banging trove. That makes sense to me, and is absolutely the kind of play I plan on making.
Or if you take, yeah, or it becomes a 1-2 punch service structure. Um, uh, uh, Travel meets service structure
Mhm.
combo. And what I
Mhm.
mean by that, you go from the hockey store, then you go to the cemetery,
Mhm.
and you know, and he collects his weapons and all that, and then
Mhm.
he goes to the cemetery, and he gets
Yeah.
he,
No, I like
all
this. Yeah.
the rarest zombies come out,
And
or zombie troves come
you
out.
do this. You do this during harvest season, and
Uh-huh.
you're compounding the probabilities of stuff, because it says right here there's also room for time-based or seasonal advantages. Now Pigeon makes a really good point too. Pigeon says do not forget about having the full collection of BEs, because that's the point too. We all have our we're so far everything's based on the individual block explorer, but we know the block explorers have their own collections. They have their own series. So completing a full series could unlock additional benefits, it says, that go beyond the sum of their parts. Um, Now, of course, that's vague as hell, and but no, that makes sense to me. And frankly, I see what I said earlier about the terraformers. Basically, what I have to say there. That's exactly the kind of point I'm making with the terraformers. Having both of them would just I could see the additional benefits being like, well, you have double this thing. Why? Because you put them together. Sure.
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Modifier systems are not yet finalized and are actively being explored. Like everything, they're trying new shit. Getting sense of directions. Our goal is to create meaningful differentiation across explorers. And that's fair because, like you pointed out earlier, block explorers have been kind of like they've been. It's not so much that they've gotten the shaft as it's been a really long time since they've really felt in any way important. You know,
Sure.
for a long time, they were super
Right.
important because they were one of like three things in the game. You know,
Exactly.
you had your block explorer, you had your blue squares, and and you had Discord. But now we've got so much that they really have just fallen to the what makes these special. Well, this will.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And
Very
then
cool.
Cheon points out, what about a complete collection of like gold versions, which we've seen because they do that kind of stuff with pretty much every single series they put out, and I could absolutely see a I could see a scenario going with with my Pokemon analogy from earlier, where you may equip one block explorer, but in terms of modifiers, I could see you having like like 3 slots for a team of modifiers to mix and match. And I think that is where, like, if you had a complete collection of the gold versions across the different series, and you just gold for your modifiers. That's the kind of scenario that I get the feeling for. But I could be totally wrong.
Quick question: is there a football game going on? I see
No, it's
the
done.
play now button.
Yeah, it finished, and I forgot
Okay.
that this
Cool.
game doesn't hang on the winner screen. So thank God for chat logs. I'll get in touch with the people that voted for whoever the winner ended up being. I think it was Tokyo. They were in the lead. I'm pretty sure last I checked, but I'm not sure. We'll see. But there will be 1,000 Sparklet distributed across people, one way or another.
Very nice.
So we also got the footprints. Um, Either they're
Mm-hmm.
are they already reduced or are they being reduced?
They are reduced from what
They're
I've
all right.
gathered. For any new, I believe it's for any new. Um, well, you can't move the
Exactly.
structures
Yeah,
you already have.
I assume that yeah the one. Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't know honestly. I guess.
Yeah. So it does say in the article will apply to all affected structures and assets,
Okay.
including those already placed on property.
Okay. Because it
You just
is
can't move a
right.
structure.
But
But
I
yeah.
mean,
Mhm.
it is literally just the blank space that the area itself that they are
Mhm.
reorganizing. So I guess that's why they're able to do that. That makes sense.
Right.
I'm still a
Mhm.
little annoyed that it has to be rectangular, but baby steps, I guess.
Sure. Mhm.
Definitely an improvement. I don't think anybody's arguing against that. Let's see. All right. That's most of what we've got. Oh, the construction boost is not here yet, but it's almost here. When's that coming? And so that's in the next 2 weeks as of 2 days ago. So yeah, in the next 2 weeks, the construction boost is going to go live. Did we ever actually get like detailed like numbers?
I've been hearing some commentary on like which construction vehicles are in certain tier levels. I haven't really read into it. It
I
might even
see.
be in the article.
It is. It is. I'm seeing it now. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, it's just like with the life thing. They've got it broken down here. It looks like I'm just skimming through it now. Um,
Okay. Mobile.
how much of a boost?
Mhm.
Three size categories: large, medium, small. Larger vehicles providing a stronger individual boost than smaller ones. And then okay, so it has your construction time like normal, so many days, so many hours, but with the way you're able to tell how much of a boost you're getting is below that. It lists the amount of time it would take without the boost. So it's not like it's 300% boosted or it's got 5 boosts. It's here's how long it's going to take and here's how long it would take base.
So, am I reading this correctly? That if we're supposed to rely on this picture,
hmm
some of the boosts might be twice as fast as your Sparklet.
If this picture
So if you have
is accurate, yeah.
45, if you're using 45,000 Sparklet, you actually basically get the value of 90,000.
Yeah, now it does say that multiple construction vehicles are stacked on this property. Final construction times will vary based on the vehicles used and the amount stacked. So it wouldn't surprise me if this also ends up being, um, for most people, implausible.
So
Either
you think a 2x would probably be like putting five, six.
well,
um,
here's what I'm thinking.
yeah,
For this to work, number one, you
hmm
have to have possession of enough of these vehicles. All right?
right.
And then number two, you've got to have the space on the property beyond the structure itself to place them. The
Yeah,
bigger the vehicle, the more. I mean, so are there properties this would apply to? Sure, but not as many as it would be if it was just so simple as clicking a button like staking Sparklet.
you know what doesn't make a lot of sense to me too is that at least in that picture it's saying the spark hours is 3,300. That seems pretty low to me, isn't that pretty low? 3,300
Oh,
spark hours.
I'm assuming that honestly most of the time I'm assuming that the picture is just like numbers. I'm assuming
Yeah, but
that
if it's just noise, then maybe we don't even care about the fact that they're
um
pictorially showing a 2x increase
well
there,
no
which
Cernus.
makes people think. But here's the part that I'm
Sorry.
just saying: 3,300 spark hours, but it was going to take 1,384. Well, oh yeah, just 100 sparklet used. I don't know.
No,
We'll
that
see. I'm
it's that
overcomplicating.
it's that that's what they do it. That the way they're able to show it is by showing it with minimum amount of sparklets staked.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
I think that's kind of weird. It's whatever. But yeah, I think a percent. I do think a 1.9x or something would be nice. People, we like numbers. But also, I wonder if they're gonna end up putting a cap on how many vehicles you can stack on a single property. I mean, how much do you want to let
If
people
they're
game
going
that
to
system?
allow, yeah, but if they're going to allow a 2x boost on just having a couple construction vehicles, what does that do for the sparklet economy?
Um,
If you can double the value of your staking just for a few $100s of cars versus having spending thousands of dollars on sparklet.
um, I mean, I have to imagine that the sparklet economy is going to be I don't know how many of these construction vehicles do we have in play?
We have a decent amount now. They've done several cycles of sales.
All right, because that's going to be if they're all in play at once, it could significantly affect it. I'm also seeing here though that they are doing a little bit. They're doing a thing about duplicate vehicles to where you can't you can't get anything from doubling up until you already have 3 different ones. You have to have 3 unique
Mhm.
vehicles before you can double up on one of them to get more points.
I'm just scared about a 2x boost. I'm just going to put that out there. If they do a 2x boost, I feel like that's too much for the health of Sparklet. That's just my view.
I I agree with you. I don't think that's the part that I don't think it's going to end up being. I think that that is going to end up being, like I said, an implausible example.
We shall see.
I,
Yeah.
we may find we may be able to see by next episode if it's going to be within the next 2 weeks. May be talking about this next episode.
For sure.
I'm personally, I mean, I stake Sparklet, but in terms of getting stuff done, I'm more in on renting Sparklet.
Mhm.
I have no construction vehicles. I'm
But you
patient.
won't even need to rent Sparklet. You see, but here's the thing: it also affects the renters of Sparklet or the people staking because now you don't even need to stake all that Sparklet. When you want to rent Sparklet, instead of having to rent all the Sparklet and pay the full price, you could rent the Sparklet and rent the construction vehicle on your property.
If there was a first party way of doing that, but there's no plans that Upland
You can
has.
swap cars,
I but
you know,
I by
or
and
you can
large
or you can
don't deal
buy
with
one.
that. Like I've got people that I trust and everything, but it's the act it's the barriers. It's the literal getting back and forth with people and doing the trades and getting stuff. I That's one thing I like about Spark Rentals is that it's way more set it and forget it. And that is an area where for that convenience, yes, I will take the hit. I'll spend more for the Sparklet and I'll allow that it would take more Sparklet because because if I'm going to use a construction vehicle, it's probably going to be because I bought one. That that's it for me. Um, yeah. Now that said, I'd like to see Upland put in a loaning out mechanic in some sort because these are service vehicles. They are meant to be used in service. So if you buy one of them, it only makes sense that you would be able to rent them out for service. This is a very like this just makes sense the same way that you apply for and open up a player shop. So I hope that if a if a first party mechanic comes out for that, I will probably change my tune. Um, and then Paris is evolving, but I mean, so what? It's getting 2 new neighborhoods. Holy shit, I was fucking kidding. Yeah, it's literally getting 2 new neighborhoods.
Cool. I missed it.
Oh, no, no, I'm sorry. It's getting 1 new neighborhood, or it's gotten
Just one?
one new. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
just one. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and it expanded. Apparently, but expanded a little bit of another. These trickle out things. I'm out. I've started calling them evolutions because they're evil. They're bad. I don't like them.
There's no collections in it. Was there a difference in the Uppies this time? Sometimes they give the mint values are different than the amount you have to
Oh
spend.
yeah, yeah.
What was the minimum? I
Uh,
mean,
Minimum total
they
value of
they made it so
38,000
there's
epics.
I don't know.
Okay, all right. Damn. I have to say though, I was still never gonna get it because it's a deluxe bundle, and I'm not building in Paris. But fucking antique shops are cool. Give me that shit like outside of a modular apartment. I want that shit in the general. I would. You put a fucking antique shop in the Wednesday sale? Oh, I mean, I know I'm getting them all anyway, but I'd be happy about it. I'd be excited. Like I love an antique shop. Fucking April O'Neil ran an antique shop. She lived above it. A little fun Ninja Turtle fact for you. But yeah, the evolutions. You know, I heard someone ask earlier if we were gonna ever get another expansion, like if they've like just like completely sworn off of those, and I don't. I don't know if they've sworn off of them, but when was the last proper expansion? Like, what, like Miami that had one or something, like with Miami Beach, or was that just a big evolution?
Not Miami Beach, I don't think.
No,
Miami, maybe.
it's been so long that I genuinely don't remember.
But,
Yeah, and these trickle out evolutions are just they're annoying to me personally, but
mhm,
mostly
yeah.
just because I want it just bigger. I would rather they do fewer and make them bigger.
Yeah, I agree.
Uh,
Because I don't know how excited to be once a week to see, oh, evolution, one neighborhood, no collection.
hmm
I don't know. It's just
It's it feels like it's playing to like it's playing to a niche audience, but like a different niche audience every single time. Like the idea that every single time there's going to be somebody that's like, yeah, we're finally getting this neighborhood. Probably not. I mean,
I even feel more like it's the clearance aisle of the week news. Like, okay,
yeah, kind of.
some random neighborhood that we didn't feel like including in a real city release. Here you go. Eat
Right
your
on.
heart out if you feel like it.
Yeah.
And that's the way it feels to me. It sort of feels like it's the news that they just sort of like, okay, we'll let you have your slice of the plot of the pie if you want. I don't know.
Pigeon says the last expansion we had was Sao Paulo.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
which
Yeah.
was
I said
not
when,
even
which was
exciting for most.
yeah, man. But I'm gonna finish off on just this most recent service structure because number one, it's kind of what we started with Camp World. This is the Camp World. This is what it'll look like whenever it's done. That I'm gonna have all of my like plants surrounding. So you see, you got your hiking boots in there. You got your camping supplies over here. You got your all weather
Yeah.
vests and whatnot. I think I see some like trekking gear back there. Anyway, you're gonna get that stuff. You're gonna walk outside and once we have animals, I'm gonna maybe get like I don't know a tiger or something. So you can like already be on your toes. It's gonna be roughing it you against the world. That's the idea there. It's the all
So,
inclusive
at
experience.
least you're making sure they buy all their protection in the camp
Look,
world.
look,
You're
it's
gonna
in the
get so
name.
much business.
It's in the name. It's Camp World. All right. It's, it's not Pussy World. You came here to camp. Nah. But
Oh boy.
yeah, no, I look forward to it. It is an outdoor type C of store and whatnot. It talks about how it's got gear Uppies can get for whenever they're going to go camping. They're fishing weekends, fishing, and I'm kind of wondering if trove wise will this have troves that are thematically or like recipe wise compatible with the different other fishing mechanics that are gonna be coming? Am I gonna be like fishing poles? Is there gonna be a fishing pole trove I get from here that I'm able to use on my fishing boat or something?
They did mention that there will be markets to sell your fish and such. So I wonder if
Hmm.
maybe the camp world will be sort of a subsidiary market of
Right.
sort. Could
It
be.
it's yeah. Um, And then above that, we have the Tandoor House, which
Hmm.
is that Indian food? Um, I'm honestly not sure. I know Tandoor is like an ethnic food. Just
That
not sure.
is my understanding as well. Yeah.
I think it's Indian, but I won't swear to it. I'm not familiar with it, obviously, but you know, foods love food.
I like the look of it.
Yeah, I mean, it
Inspired.
looks like rice, maybe curry. Yep. Pigeon is confirming it is Indian food. Right on. I have only ever eaten at one Indian restaurant in my entire life, and I'm pretty sure it's because it's the only Indian restaurant in the city. That my in my family there was somebody that really loved it, and so anytime there was this one particular get together, that's where we always ate.
Okay.
I where I yeah, I'm like I'm like 7, and I'm like I don't know what any of this is. Where are my chicken nuggets? Yeah, I was a chicken nuggets McDonald's kid. I didn't even
Okay.
I didn't eat hamburgers until I was like in college. All right, picky eater. Um,
Long story.
yeah. Then we had the South Side Boxing Club, which all right. So um we have the boxing club, and we already got didn't we already get a dojo? I think. Oh, KO if KO's here, I'm sure he'll tell us. Um, Let me bring up service structures because I'm curious. I'm wondering um, if there's a boxing structure, and then can I not search? Oh, come on, Upland. Whatever. Uh, yep. KO is confirming there is a martial arts dojo. Right. Okay. So what I'm wondering is a boxing club and a dojo going to produce identical or distinct troves? Is it gonna depend based on where they're built, or is it gonna be that one? I mean, that's the kind of level of granularity that I'm really curious about how far down they're gonna go. Because I could see both sides. I could see, well, they're both just fighting places. They get fighting types of tropes, or I could see a distinct approach taken. Karate versus boxing.
I'm getting really out there right now, but I had this wild thought that, especially when it comes to martial arts, it could also be like how forceful your block explorer arrives on the property might have something to do with, you know, how, what kind of trove you're gonna get. Boom.
Oh
That's
no,
kind of the feel I get.
but yeah, though. I mean, maybe not the force it comes in with, but the type of block explorer plays a role. There's a block
Yeah.
explorer that is a pair of nunchucks. If you
Hmm.
take the nunchuck block explorer to the dojo, I mean, that's got to give you something super, right?
Yeah, should.
The same way, if I take the Jason hockey masks to the athletics store, I should get like the best hockey stick ever trove.
Right. Yeah.
Something. All right. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's pretty much everything that's happened. I don't think there's. Oh, there's a spark. Oh, there's a Sparklet vote incoming. Vote to burn. Everybody, vote to burn. That's where we talked about it. We all got together. We had a big powwow over the last few years, and we all agreed. We're all gonna vote to burn. So if you want to be cool like the rest of us, you're gonna vote to burn. Yeah, that's it. All right. Okay. Where is the goodbye thing? We're gonna wrap this week's episode up. I want to thank. Oh, hold on. Pigeon says he wasn't going to even if he was in line to get one. Oh, he's responding to Vape High Guy about the about the Terraformer Block Explorer today. Sorry. All right.
There
I'm getting.
was there was also another truck sale, right? There was a truck sale, or the service construction vehicles that happened. But
Not
that's if you're
today.
lucky.
That
It was yesterday, right? I
I
think it
think
was
it was yesterday.
yesterday.
Yeah. That was yesterday. Yeah, they that showed up as sold out today.
Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't get anything, so
Right.
no
Yeah.
news for me.
Yeah, me neither. All right, and I'll go through tomorrow and find out who the winners are and give them 1,000 Sparklets. So check your DMs. You know, Yeah. Thank you, Cernus, for joining me, and thank you, fine, lovely people, for watching me live or later. Well, watching us live. It's not just me; it's a whole team. Um, be safe, everyone. We will catch you, crazy cats and kittens, on the flip side. Later, taters. Oh, actually, hold on. Wait, Vape High Guy wants to know why I want everyone to burn. Um, uh, deflationary mechanics. In a nutshell, I would like to see. I believe that burning it instead of putting it back into the community will have a positive effect overall on the long-term Sparklet price. And so I vote for that because I just no one in crypto and whatnot, people always go against the idea of deflationary mechanics, and I want to see it happen. I don't know. I got a good feeling about it. Anyway, that's it. That's my answer. I'll see y'all later.